The story, ya Ikhwan, is the story of a young slave boy. And this young slave boy in the lands of Yemen, he used to come to the khutbahs where there was a very, very strong imam. His dawah was very powerful. His dawah was very strong. His voice was very strong. He was very eloquent. Everybody from the towns around, they used to come and listen to this imam's speech. And whatever the imam he preached, you found that right after the people started to practice. So the imam used to speak words, and right away the people used to practice. So if the imam said, let's build a masjid, the people would build a masjid. If the imam said, let's go and help the poor people, they would go and help the poor people. So one day this young man, seeing this at a very young age, being a person who was in captivity, he was in slavery, he went to the imam and said, yeah, imam, I was wondering, have you ever given a khutbah on slavery before and freeing the slaves? The imam said, no, but this is a fantastic idea. Inshallah, I'm going to give the khutbah about freeing the slave. Inshallah. So the young man was overjoyed, knowing all of his adolescent life being brought up as a slave, working hard day and night, hard manual labor at a young age, not going to school. He was hoping that the imam the very next week would free him. So as he came to Jummah, dressed up in his best clothes that he had with the best perfume that he borrowed from one of his friends, he was hoping that the imam was going to give a khutbah about freeing the slaves. But the imam did not talk about that. The imam talked about being good to your parents that particular day. So he was a little upset. But he kept coming back week after week after week. More than 2 months had passed away. More than 2 weeks had passed away, 3 weeks had passed away, and he did not say nothing about this topic. So the young boy, he started to get a little bit distraught, a little bit upset, wondering, did the sheikh forget me? So he went back up to the sheikh after many weeks had passed away, and he asked the imam, Imam, do you remember me? Do you remember our conversation? Why are you not talking about this topic? He said, Inshallah, I'm going to talk about it. Bismillah ta'ala. I'm going to do it, Inshallah ta'ala. There's no problem about that. So the young man was feeling, Inshallah ta'ala, that maybe the imam is going to talk about it. And the imam did not talk about it for many, many, many more weeks, brothers. So at one time, his imam became very, very low, thinking that the imam must have forgotten because he's a slave and he's insignificant, and that the imam just does not care. But having a little bit of iman, he still kept coming to Jummah over and over and over again. So, the young man, he was hopeful. He was hopeful. He had hope. He had hope that the imam was going to talk about freeing the slaves. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasul. Brothers and sisters, maybe we should continue the story next weekend, as though it seems that some of the brothers, maybe they don't want to hear the rest of the story. But inshallah ta'ala, for those who want to hear the story, we'll continue, inshallah. So the story goes on to say that the young man came to Jummah one day, not expecting anything at all, not expecting the imam to say anything about freeing the slaves. His iman was so low that his head was physically low. His iman was low. His vibes were low. He didn't even hardly give anybody the salam. But then the imam, he came that day, and he started talking about the fada'il, the benefits of freeing the slaves. And when the imam gave the khutbah, he had the most passion. And he gave the khutbah, and anybody who had a slave that day, they rejoiced and they freed all the slaves in the city. And the young boy's master said, you are free, ya ghulam, you are free. Because the imam, because his words, when he said his words, it hit the people's heart. So the young boy cried profusely and smiling at the same time, which is very hard to do, to cry and to smile and to laugh and to be overjoyed with tears. He said, Ya Imam, I have one question. I just have one question. I had asked you such a long time ago, why did it take you so long to give the khutbah about slavery if all this would happen? The Imam said, well, as for myself, young man, I'm not a rich Imam, I'm a very poor Imam. So I had to go work a side job on the side to earn some extra money so I could purchase a slave, so I could free a slave. This, did you not hear the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He encouraged all of us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, lima taqulu ma la taqulun, kabara maqtan inda Allah, an taqulu ma la tafalun. This is an Imam, ya ikhwan, who every ayah, every hadith, he tried his best not to just speak it and say it and call people, but he himself, how could he dare tell the people to free a slave if he himself never freed anyone? So you toiled day and night till you earned a little bit of money, and then he bought a slave, and then he freed the slave.